Alright, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushua Bahashim Akakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings salutations to the house of David. Now the scriptures talk about the Lord, he's the father of all spirits. So with him having that power and that counsel in the spiritual realm, the Lord is able to put either a good and a righteous spirit in a man that calls himself a prophet. Because in this truth, and in these times that we're in, you got many men picking up the Bible, but many men are not inspired by the righteous spirit of the Lord. Alright, like we always say, man come into this truth for clout, for likes, for accolades, and we sound like a broken record, but who gives a damn? Because the Lord is actually speaking about these things in these last days. And the Lord can either put a righteous spirit in a man, or he could put a wicked spirit. Now, the scriptures talk about perilous times shall come, and men should be lovers of their own self. And what comes with perilous times? Wicked men. And this world is under the vibration of Satan, save only a few men that actually have the counsel of the Lord. And these men are not going to be on that tip to fucking get accolades or get recognition. Because they didn't come in the spirit to get recognition. That's why Yahweh had to flee to the mountains. When they try to crown him, they try to throw Gatorade, not actually throw Gatorade, but you know what I'm saying. They try to crown Yahweh. And Yahweh did not want that. Yahweh actually wanted to preach the word, condemn the wicked, and actually save the ones that truly believe. Because if you don't believe, you're condemned already. So the Lord can actually put a spirit upon a man to teach wayward doctrines, to come up against the righteous, to actually get them condemned. Now, the Lord is very strategic on how he does things. The Lord said his ways are not your ways, and your ways are not his. A lot of men, they judge off their emotions and off their flesh. The Lord judges off his righteous judgment, man. Let's get into it. This is 1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 1, because the Lord can actually put the spirit upon a man, to actually big another man up, to the point where this man that's getting bigged up, he gets so fucking proud and so puffed up that he thinks that his shit don't stink, and he thinks that he's this guru. You see, a lot of guys get proud because of the fame and the accolades, and truly, a lot of guys came into the truth for that. And they have gotten their reconciliation. A lot of guys, they get bigged up so much, but the Lord can actually do that, because the Lord can put a spirit upon a man to big a man up, to actually get him destroyed. Because what happens when you get bigged up, you lose your sense of judgment. You're not really seeing anything in the spirit no more. Because what comes with power, it comes with a perverse judgment, and it comes with respect to persons. And we see in these last days, a lot of guys are under that super wicked vibration, man. See, let's get into it, man. 1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 1. And they continued 3 years without war between Syria and Israel. Now, this is a great story right here, because this actually points out what the Lord can do. The Lord can actually put an evil spirit upon a man that calls himself a prophet to actually go off and get him destroyed. Because you got to understand, the Lord does not want all our people in these last days. Especially, the scriptures say the Lord is going to start in the house of Israel first, judgment. So those that call themselves Israelites and really don't believe and is doing this thing with ulterior motives, and this truth is not their number one priority, the Lord actually put an evil spirit upon a lot of men out there. You see, you can see it in their countenance. You can see the way they move, how much urgently they're preaching the word, and not just preaching the word, but what message are they bringing out? What type of spirit are they in, bringing out the message? You see, all these things come into effect. And it says, and it came to pass in the 3rd year that Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, came down to the king of Israel. And the king of Israel said unto his servants, Ye know you that Ramoth in Galilee is ours, and we be still, and take it not out of the hand of the king of Syria? And he said unto Jehoshaphat, Wilt thou go with me to battle to Ramoth Gilead? And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, I am as thou art, my people as thy people. Right, so this was a king right here, 2 kings, the king of Israel and the king of Judah. And the king of Judah actually wanted to go down and fight against Syria. All right. And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, Inquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord today. Right, because it's not just about putting on a garment. It's the Lord actually dealing with a man. You see? Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said unto them, Shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, Go up, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of the Lord besides, that we might inquire of this? And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man out of 1,000, Micaiah, the son of Amiah, by whom we may inquire of the Lord. But I hate him, for he does not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so. Right, so here it is, there are 400 prophets, these prophets of Baal. And the Lord actually put an evil spirit upon these men to say to this king, Go up, you're going to win this battle. And the Lord can do that to destroy men. You see? The Lord can actually do that to deceive men that he does not want. And one man out of that, he actually had the counsel of the Lord. So you got to take that and you got to measure it into today's time. Because many men, they come into this truth for recognition. And we're going to keep on saying this until we get the hell up out of here, man. If you don't like it, don't watch the videos. Many men come into this truth for woman. They come into this thing for fame. The Lord is not really backing a lot of men's up, but a lot of men is speaking. You got to understand that, man. And they're being moved by an evil spirit. You see? Reading on, it says, Then the king of Israel called the officer and said, Hasten hither, Micaiah, the son of Emma. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, sat each on his throne, having put on their robes in a void place in the entrance of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before them. And Zedekiah, the son of Chenaanah, made him horns of iron and said, Thus to the Lord, With these shalt thou push the Syrians until thou hast consumed them. Right. And we see that a lot of men come in the spirit of just, constantly just, talking about, this and this, peace, prophesying peace. Though the Lord said he's bringing war. You see, a lot of guys are in the spirit where they're saying they're bringing out all this good information, but when it really gets down into it, it's the Lord actually moving these men. Because what is the weightier matters of the law? Actually going to a man belief. Because if a man don't believe, then guess what? He's optional to give you up over to Esau. Now we see Esau coming in with great wrath, knowing that he has but a short time. And you're going to have a lot of guys in the spirit of Judas Iscariot that's going to give you up. You see? So it's about, does a man really have the Lord working within him? And if he does, he's going to be what? He's going to be in the spirit of bringing out the whole truth. Because this truth isn't just about speaking about the sunshines and rainbows all goddamn day, man. You got to bring out certain things that the Lord requires. That you have more prophets being moved by Satan than those that are actually being moved by the true counsel and the spirit of the Heavenly Father. And those that are truly moved by Satan, they're not going to preach to the congregation what to look out for. They're not going to talk about the wolves in sheep's clothing. They're not going to speak about Matthew chapter 23. These are the signs that you got to look out for. Reading on to verse 12. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, Go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the king's hand. Right, and the thing about a king is, a king only wants to hear good things. A king is sitting on his throne, and he wants to hear how he's going to win, how he's going to prosper. He wants to get the likes of a lot of our people, you see? So, a king may be in a top position, but a prophet is over a king. All right, a prophet actually brings out what the Lord is saying. So he came to the king, and the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall we forbear? And he answered him, Go and prosper for the Lord, and he shall deliver it into the hand of the king. Now, Micaiah was being, because before that, the servant of the king told him, just say what everybody else is saying. Say what everybody else is saying. Don't talk about the bad things. Don't say this. The same thing is happening in these last days. But Micaiah, him being wise, he pretty much said what all the prophets were saying. But check this out. It says, And the king said unto him, How many times shall I adjure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Lord? And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have not a shepherd. And the Lord said, these have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he will prophesy no good concerning me but evil? Right, so the prophets, they spoke the words according to what the Lord said. Now in these last days we have men picking up the Bible, but they're not preaching according to what the scriptures say. And that's why the Lord had a fucking problem with the scribes and the Pharisees, because they put themselves in that position, and they were in that position, but when it came down to actually speaking the words of the Lord, they wouldn't do it, because deep down they were fucking wicked, man. And the ones that actually spoke the words of the Lord, they were ostracized, they were actually rejected, they were killed. You see, because the words of the Lord have no place in a lot of our people, and no place in a lot of guys speaking this truth. They're just doing it to get recognition and for the likes of men. And the prophets never came in that fucking spirit, man. You see? So the Lord can put a righteous spirit and an evil spirit upon a man. And in these last days, the righteous spirit is only in a few. Let's keep on reading. And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on the throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this matter, and another said on that manner. And there came forth a spirit, and stood before the Lord, and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also, go forth and do so. So the Lord actually sent his left-handed spirit to be poured upon those 400 prophets to lie to the king so that he can go out to battle and be destroyed. You see? The same thing is happening in these last days. Many men are actually leading a bunch of our people to destruction because the Lord actually put that wicked spirit within them. And it's also a story where this prophet, pursuant to the time of Jeroboam and Rehoboam, he was supposed to go to a man's house, you see, and he was not supposed to stay in anybody's house. He was supposed to pass on and keep on walking until he reached his destination. But what happened? The Lord actually put an evil spirit upon another prophet to say, the Lord did not actually say that, come in and eat. So him being simple, he went in and ate, and guess what? He got destroyed. And the prophet said, because you refuse to hearken unto my words, a lion's gonna eat your ass up, by the way. And that's exactly what happened. It's a scary thing dealing with this truth, man. Men and a lot of guys don't really understand the power of the Lord and the power of the Spirit, man. You see? And a lot of guys, they trade in the words of the Lord for some fame and clout, and they start preaching according to their emotion, according to what they want to preach. You see? Yeah, we know about Esau and this and that, but what about the wicked among our people? Because like I said, like the scriptures say, there are many men. The scriptures say in the last days, many false prophets will come, deceiving in sheep's clothing. Does not the scripture say that? You see? So the Lord can put an evil spirit upon a man to actually, do something to get his ass destroyed, to lead many to their destruction. Look at TD Jakes and look at Creflo Dollars. Just look at all these pastors, man. You think they're fucking telling the truth? No. And even though they have a big congregation, that does not mean they're telling the truth, man. See, a man of the Lord is going to speak the truth on how it needs to be spoken, regardless if the majority cares or if the majority does not accept it. That's how you know a real man of the Heavenly Father, man. He's not going to be in the spirit of being a respecter of persons and caring about the emotions. No, he's going to speak according to what the Spirit said. And a lot of you guys out there, you're in the spirit of, how can you say that? A lot of you guys are being led by evil spirits, man. Let me keep on reading. That says, verse 23. Now therefore, behold, the Lord does put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord has spoken evil concerning thee. But Zedekiah the son of Jamal went near and smote Micaiah on the cheek. Right, so he smote him for speaking the truth. You see? And said, which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto thee? Right, mocking him. And Micaiah said, behold, thou shalt see in that day when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself. And the king of Israel said, take Micaiah and carry him back unto Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son, and say thus to the king, put this fellow in the prison, and feed him with the bread of affliction and with the water of affliction until I come in peace. And Micaiah said, if thou return at all in peace, the Lord has not spoken by me. And he said, hearken, O people, every one of you. Right. So Micaiah said, if your ass comes back to this kingdom in one piece, then truly the Lord has not spoken by me. But when you keep on reading, the Lord actually killed that dude in the battle man of war. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get into it, man. You see, when the men of the Lord speak, a lot of guys get offended. Cities get into an uproar because they don't speak because they care about what the multitude thinks. They speak because the Lord is telling them to speak that, man. You see? And a lot of you guys are not coming in the spirit. You care about what the multitude thinks. You want to be liked in this degenerate world, man. You want to be accepted in this wicked world. But guess what? You received your consolation. You see? The Lord has actually taken that spirit off of you because you just wanted power in some type of position in this fallen world. Reading down, it says, verse 33. Now this is when he was in battle, the king. And it came to pass when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, that they turned back from pursuing him. And a certain man drew a bow at venture and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariots, turn thine hand and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. And the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians, and died at even. And the blood ran out of the womb into the midst of the chariot. And there went a proclamation throughout the host about the going down of the sun, saying, every man to his city, every man to his own country. So the king died and was brought to Samaria, and they buried the king. So he died because the word of the Lord was actually in Micaiah to speak those words. And by Micaiah speaking those words truthfully, you see, the Lord actually brought that upon that king. You see? But the 400 prophets that the Lord put the lying spirit on, they didn't tell them the truth. You see? And they were actually in the front of the king. And they were actually loved by the king, but they weren't telling the truth. So the ones that actually tell the truth, they are hated. And these are the real men of the Lord in these last days, man. You see? Not many men are in that spirit. This is Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 9. And if the prophet be deceived when he has spoken a thing, I, the Lord, have deceived that prophet, and I will stretch out my hand upon him, and I will destroy him from the midst of my people. So the Lord actually has a lot of evil spirits upon man prophesying these last days, which they don't have no faith, they don't believe, and they're leading a lot of our people to destruction. That's why you have to have a sense of discernment to really see who really believes in this truth or who doesn't, man. This in these last days, it's not about who has the most numbers. Now, of course, if you're carnal, you're looking at that, of course you're going to follow somebody that has the numbers, man. But you got to understand this, the Lord always dealt with the underdogs, man, with the few, because those who have never been thought to warrant a crown, those were ones that the Lord was always dealing with in the first place, man. And the prophets were always in the back, and they were always not around the people, because the word that they spoke, the people rejected those words, man, because it actually came from the Lord. You see, the people actually rejected those words, man, because this wisdom is not for the majority of our people. You see, so I'm gonna go ahead and end off on there. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Rakak Wadash, Hey Shalom.